The intriguing story behind Gene Roddenberry's dislike for the character Saavik in the Star Trek franchise is a fascinating glimpse into the creative process and the complexities of collaboration. It's a tale that reveals the tensions between artistic vision and the realities of Hollywood production. The unraveling of a legend, Saavik's shocking betrayal. In Nicholas Meyer's Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Captain Kirk and Dr. McCoy find themselves in a Klingon prison, framed for a political assassination. This assassination, we later learn, was the result of a sinister conspiracy involving Federation rogues and Klingon splinter groups, eager to prolong the Cold War. At the movie's climax, we discover that Spock's protege, the young Vulcan Valeris, played by Kim Cattrall, was a key conspirator aboard the USS Enterprise, even willing to commit murder to cover her tracks. The revelation was a shock, especially considering Valeris's previous portrayal as a cool and charismatic Vulcan. But it could have been even more shocking if an early idea for Star Trek VI had come to fruition. Meyer initially wanted Valeris to be Saavik, the young Vulcan played by Kirstie Alley in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and by Robin Curtis in subsequent films. However, Saavik's transformation into a turncoat was met with resistance, including from Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek himself. The controversy unveiled Roddenberry's objections. There were several reasons Saavik was replaced in Star Trek VI. Meyer wanted Kirstie Alley to reprise her role, but she declined. Additionally, Meyer had an unexplained dislike for Robin Curtis. But the primary concern was the potential backlash from fans if a beloved character like Saavik were revealed as a traitor. Roddenberry, in particular, was vocal about his opposition to this narrative twist, as recorded in a 1992 issue of Cinefantastique magazine. What's less known is that Roddenberry's objections to Saavik date back to the making of Star Trek II. Saavik, not being one of Roddenberry's creations, faced his strong resistance when it came to her inclusion on the bridge of the USS Enterprise. His reasons for this objection remain somewhat mysterious. The root of the conflict, a creator's pride. To understand Roddenberry's stance, we must delve into the history of Star Trek. Roddenberry, the original creator, was excluded from the production of Star Trek II after Star Trek the Motion Picture, 1979, didn't meet the studio's financial expectations. Though he retained his executive producer title, his creative influence was largely replaced by producer Harve Bennett. This exclusion left Roddenberry bitter and resentful. When Nicholas Meyer was hired to write and direct Star Trek II, he introduced Saavik, a young protege for Spock. Bennett recalls Roddenberry's strong objection to Saavik's half-Vulcan, half-Romulan heritage. Romulans, as any Trekkie knows, are central villains in the Star Trek universe, and their intermingling with Vulcans was a controversial move. Roddenberry claimed he disliked the political implications of such a character. Bennett quoted Roddenberry as saying, "Gene is frequently a historical revisionist. He fought the character of Saavik savagely, saying you couldn't intermarry Vulcans and Romulans, that it was not possible. It had never been done." Meyer, in an interview with Cinefantastique, recalls the Saavik controversy going back to the beginning of his involvement with Star Trek II. He states, "I wrote the character of Saavik for Star Trek II. That wasn't a Gene Roddenberry character. If he doesn't like what I'm doing, then maybe he should give the money he's making from my movies back. Then maybe I'll care what he has to say." A harsh response, but one that highlights the tensions between artistic control and the business of filmmaking. So what do you think? Was Roddenberry's objection justified, or was it a case of creative control gone too far? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.